Bad. The test has failed. Not technically. The app was ready. The app has been up. The people could download it, and they even did downloads. But the issue is that our people were too undisciplined to actually use the app, even when DORs were shared on the internet. They were still not uploaded in the system. And Dorcas, you know very well what happened in 2021. It was exactly the same thing. First, we had few results, but then people started to share DORs on WhatsApp. And it is useless. It is fucking useless, all those DORs. It led to an enormous chaos. We were busy 20 days to enter all these DORs, because remember all those duplicates that we have. And this is because of the fucking indiscipline of our people. If our president announces an app very clearly, then the agents should use it. It's not a lot of work. It's not a lot of work. And that is the only way to immediately have a result up. Now, can you imagine that if 497 polling stations, as in Kawempe North, we failed? We only got 17 uploaded. How the hell are we going to do it for 36,000 polling stations? So I have bad news. I'm going to tell our president that we are not ready to use an app because our people are indisciplined. Our party is indisciplined. Even though our president clearly stated what to do, the people didn't do it. I'm now in the struggle for 4 years. If I'm looking, our party has not advanced. Normally, in the beginning, we had the excuse, we are like a new party. We still have to find it out. We're not a new party anymore, right? And Puga has a new party. That crook. Yeah, but we are now 4 years in business. By now, we should have the structures in place. What's even more worrying is that what structures we have is mainly in central Uganda. And you know that all our stars are in central Uganda, but they are not in western Uganda, not in eastern Uganda, not in northern Uganda. And that is where the dictator is going to win the elections, to rig the elections, is what I mean to say. Do you get what I'm saying? The 2026 election will be a copy of 2021, because as a party, we have not advanced. We have not been building. I am member of some of these WhatsApp groups in these regions. The structures are basically not there. And we have failed to do it. And I hope that by staying it now in March 2025, for God's sake, I hope they take the time to be ready. But the party that we have now, we are not ready. And Museveni is going to win these elections. Sorry to say that. Thank you.
Doctor, I sent you a little message. Yes, I also wanted to check with you if you've got a copy of, I think SG had a copy of 3 results where the EC was announcing something totally different. I was wondering if you've got the actual figures that SG has.
Dorcas, I'm not interested in the actual figures. The actual figures are very clear. The problem is that because this happened in Kampala, we were there to interfere. But if the same thing is going to happen in Isinjiru, who is going to interfere in Isinjiru? Dorcas, please tell me, who is going to fix the rigging in Isinjiru?
I know, it is.
Who is going to fix the rigging in Mbala? Who is going to fix the rigging in Arua? Who is going to fix the rigging in Nabi?
I know, it is a shame. What is your message to the Ugandans, after we've seen this Kawempe election?
So the party needs to organize it, but it's also the Ugandans that need to organize. Let's be very clear, right? The president put out an announcement on his page, and Ugandans did not listen to what he had to say. So the problem is we are doing a lot of therapy. We are very active on social media, but therapy is not going to help us remove the dictator. It's good for our internal, for the release of the frustration that we have, but it's not going to remove the dictator.
Yeah, Doctor, I sent you a little message. Did you see that? And then we can carry on. In the meantime, let me take questions while you check your text. Yes, Comrade Kato, do come in. Comrade Joseph, do come in. Then we'll go back to Dr. Nico.
So, look, Dorcas is telling me the talk is good when addressing noob structure. Dorcas, there are no noob structures. I have found out, you know, the last year I've been active on TikTok. Many things that I have already communicated using the noob structures. They end, nothing is done. It's unfortunate, but in noob, things only happen when you put it publicly out there. And that's what I will do. We are not ready for the 2026 election. We are failing. Yes, we will win Kampala, just like we won Kawempe North. And it was brilliant what our foot soldiers did. The risk that they took, it was good. The problem is our foot soldiers in Isinjiru, they are not enough. They are not trained. They don't have a David Lewis Rongoya there or Joel St. Johnji to fix the mess, to go to that telecenter. We saw that the fighting was even going on in the telecenter because we had some important people there and because we had some press there. But the press is also not in all these other regions of Uganda. So we have to be very realistic. The result of the election is going to be identical as 2021. And of course, you know that I wrote this book, Rigged. Yeah, so this is my book, Rigged 2021. And I'm telling you, Rigged 2026, the book will be the same as Rigged 2021. And I have warned you in advance. I'm going to write it in the new book. Dear Ugandans, I warned you in March 2025 that you are going to be rigged again in 2026 because you were not organized outside of central Uganda. Is there a quick question? Because I'm kind of busy. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nico. Yes, I was sort of trying to point out that, yes, I do understand. Normally, this Saturday Zoom, I prefer to address Ugandans as Ugandans because I do not want Ugandans to have excuses saying, oh, we are not part of the NUP or whatever it is. We are Ugandans at the end of the day, and we need to reclaim our nation, Uganda. So some of the issues I was trying to say, let us address them in the NUP structure or whichever, but it is okay. And I honestly wanted to say thank
Dorcas, you have to be honest. You yourself, you're failed in the NUP structures. I see you're laughing. Yes, you also exited the NUP structures out of frustration.
There's some things I would rather not discuss on here, but I would rather that we have a clear message to the Ugandans. I see your frustration.
Yeah. Be very clear. My message is also to the Ugandans. Yes, yeah. Because of all the Ugandans, only 17 uploaded a declaration of results.
Yes. So
whereas there were thousands and thousands of people sharing things on social media. But what Ugandans fail to understand is that we need to get organized. This is not just NUP. This is Ugandans that have to understand
so
this.
I really want the message to go out there. This message you speak is to the Ugandans. Let us organize. Let us unite, you know, against this brutality, the theft, the murder, the illegal detention of our brothers and sisters, the abductions, you know. So let us work against this regime day and night. Yes, Comrade Joseph, come in before. And guys, put up your hands quickly. Doctor has short.
Just one question, because I really have to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, actually, it's not a question. I just have to say, Dr. Nico, you are right on point. I actually kind of made a similar comment, I think, in one of the fora last week, that, you know, we, NOP swept the central region last year, like in 2021. So it's not news that, because in urban, especially urban and peri-urban areas, the people are very alert and they're very organized. So nothing new in Kawempe. I mean, obviously the violence is horrible and it's a continuation of what happened. Let me put on my camera, by the way, just notice I don't have my camera. So yes, we need organization outside of the central region, as Dr. Nico said. We really need to go beyond the central region. So it's great that we won the Kawempe North election, even though, as everyone saw, the NRM has rejected the result. They said that over 62% of the people were disenfranchised because apparently the Electoral Commission cancelled 15 polling stations or nullified result of 15 polling stations. The NRM says, Museveni had a meeting yesterday at the State House and said that over 62% of people are not able to cast their votes because the NRM, the Electoral Commission, nullified the votes because NOP was causing so much violence and disruption. The regime that is killing and abducting people is saying NOP is responsible for the violence that kind of led to the notification of results from 15 polling stations. So that apparently taking our election, only the victory, no victory in Kawempe North, to court. So they're going to try to nullify it. They're going to try to make it, all this pain people have gone through. They're going to try to make sure that this MP that was elected does not take office. So it's not over yet. It's not over yet. So to what extent? So now Dr. Nico is talking about the organization. I mean, I personally have been very critical of Secretary Nico says no structures, nothing functional within the party structures. And it's true. I mean, it talks about how this application app is shared and the president kind of shared with told people to use was not used by our people on the ground. And actually, I would say that is the responsibility of the party structures. It's a secretariat to ensure that they actually kind of spread this up and get people to use them, train people how to use it, and say, guys, we need to capture these results. Make sure you upload this, They have a training school, go to the training school and say, hey, okay, let's just go through this app and this is how it works. Make sure you upload all these results. But that is not there. So the responsibility is actually at the leadership level at NUP, in the sense of this organization. We need to spread the organization, the alertness, and the use of whatever resources we have beyond central Uganda, as Dr. Nico was saying. So I totally agree with Dr. Nico. I don't know if Dr. Nico is still here. I don't see him. But yes, but I really totally agree with Dr. Nico. It's going to be probably even worse than 2021, unless something is really, really done. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of time. And of course, the other issue that I had was that we actually did not push to have the Electoral Commission have more representation, the more representative EC, Electoral Commission, the different parties. And the same Electoral Commission, this was kind of, is still running the elections. I mean, okay, they cannot rig Kampala in the central region very, very successfully because people are very alert, people, whatever. But as Dr. Nkwonsi said, it's much easier outside of central Uganda because people are more dispersed. Maybe the support for NUP is not as strong. So it's much more easy, even in parts of central Uganda that are not urban areas like Kayunga, even though even there, they can kind of rig the election because people are perhaps not as courageous to do what is needed to be done. So, Nicole, thank you so much for that. I will come back to later to Mr. Mugeni's comment about America because I have very strong opinions on that. But thank you, Dr. Nicole.
Yeah, thanks. Just another quick one. Demi, did you have a question before Doctor comes in? Or Kato?
Dorcas, I have to go, unfortunately.
Okay, okay, just.
But thank you so much, and I'll be back for the next America is Bleeding. Okay.
No worries. Uganda is bleeding. Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Nico, we'll see you. We'll discuss more on the elections. Thank you. Thanks. Let's see.
May I finish my point, Ms. Dorcas? Since Dr. Nico left,
please go ahead and then take some hands. Take Tamale, Deni, Kato. Yes, please go ahead. Thank you.
So now I wanted to come to the America issue very briefly. I know this is not about America, but it concerns us. America, I mean, okay, the cut of the aid, USAID, which I think is, in a way, of course, there is a lot of suffering, HIV/AIDS and whatever, but at the same time, this is what some of us have been calling for, that US should stop funding the dictatorship, because whatever money is being sent to Uganda, much of it is, is misused, or it gives the regime the capacity to misallocate taxpayer money to do other things. So that is perhaps a bit of a positive, in a sense that if it enables Ugandans to rise up and say, hey, how come we're paying all these taxes but nothing's happening? Perhaps that can drive Ugandans to be enraged and say, hey, we cannot take this anymore. So that's perhaps a bit of a positive, even though in many cases people look at it as a negative. But beyond that, the US is I totally disagree with Mr. Mogeni kind of like more or less contradicted himself. He said, well, the US is doing well, and then he said it's collapsing. And basically, the way I see it is heading towards collapsing. Today, they just expelled the South African ambassador to the United States because apparently it was critical about the US policies and Israel and all that stuff. They just said, you are not welcome to the US anymore. The US is getting isolated. Inflation is going up. Immigrants are being targeted, and a lot of these immigrants are the ones that grow food and whatever, so the food prices are going to go up. The stock market is collapsing. Another point is that the US, one of the advantages the United States has against many other countries is being immigration, in the sense that the population has been growing. Unlike many countries in Europe and Japan, where the population is declining, the US population has been growing because of these immigrants that come in from all over. Many of them give birth to many children. And that always, the growing economy is part of it is population. So now with the immigrants being targeted, if it was stop coming to the US, obviously that is going to have an impact on the population. But beyond that, the immigrants have been willing to do a lot of very, very low-paying jobs that have made food and other things in the United States very affordable. So I disagree, of course, also the fact that Trump is very, and Musk, they're pursuing a lot of racist policies that are targeting people that are not European or people of European descent. So I do not agree, Mr. McKinney, on that, but, it's neither here nor there. So thank you so much, Dorcas. Now I'll take some hands. I guess Kato left. No, I think you had a question for Dr. Nico, but Dr. Nico left. So Mr. Tamale, please, can you please unmute and say what you need to say? Tamale? I can't unmute. Can you unmute yourself, Tamale? Oh, Dorcas, can you help me unmute him? I don't know. I'm trying to ask him to unmute.
What's happening today? Let me go to the host and okay, guys, you should be able to mute yourself.
I've unmuted.
Okay.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Hope you hear me. You hear me, everyone?
We hear you, yes.
Let me first congratulate you people on media, on this platform, for always calling upon Ugandans to engage themselves in each and every activity which brings us together, unites us, like the way it's in the Kawempe North constituency, where we won where we defeated this dictator and his goons. However much they beat us, they did each and everything havoc on us, but at least we won them. Though now they are rushing to with their ignorant heads, they are running to the courts, they are very courts that we stole them, but that's life. By the way, I'm here for Tower. You know, this win is at least, I'm dedicating it to High Tower. I'm with High Tower here. At least want to say hi to you people. High Tower, the one who was broken, who got the leg broken. I think you can see him.
Yes, you can. Hello.
Yes, Tower.
You can speak.
Yeah, good evening, good morning. How are you? My name is Njima Geoffrey, aka High Tower. That's the name my fellow comrades call me because of my height. I'm glad that I'm here with you. Tamale used to visit me, and from the first day when I was I was beaten by the JAT military, those terrorists. Yeah, he's the first person to take care of me. He's the one who took me to hospital. So I want to appreciate you people. I had no program with you, but I'm lucky that I was. Tamale came to visit me at home, and he asked me that you were colleagues, you were comrades from abroad, in Europe, in different countries, and you are also a pillar for our struggle. That you share the message. Sometimes here in Uganda, we normally do videos in Luganda local language. Sometimes me myself, I know some Swahili. I use some Swahili so that we can connect with the whole East Africa, not only Uganda, but the whole East Africa. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for the good job you're doing to share the information all over the world, because you speak in English so that many people connect, and for you being there, sometimes you go and protest on streets, especially Uganda House, UK Parliament, you go to ICC court. So you are a very big pillar, and I myself, I appreciate you guys. You leave your work, you leave your jobs, but you have that feeling of our nation. You are there abroad, everything is okay there. You get medication, you get, you live, let me say you live a good life there, but you don't forget home, because home is everything. At the end of the day, you have relatives here. You didn't forget that. You have relatives there, here in Uganda. You have members of your families here. That's why you also raise your voices. You add on our voices. You fight with us. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you for that, and thank you for everything you're doing for comrades back in Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Hi
much.
guys, I think
Go ahead.
you've got his message. I just salute you guys. You can go on.
We salute you more, the foot soldiers. Thank you so much, guys. Joseph, I think did you have a question for High Tower? You know, the conditions they endured and all, and yes, did you have?
No. I just wanted to commend him and other foot soldiers for the work they're doing, because that is what we saw in Kawempe. It was the foot soldiers that enabled that victory. Even though, as we said, the regime is not accepted the defeat. They're saying they're going to try to nullify it, but it was the foot soldiers, their determination, their courage, despite all the abductions and everything, that make it happen. So thank you so much, High Tower and others like you. We really appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. Because, yeah.
Yes, we really honestly appreciate you. We can't thank you enough. And we have to keep the stamina. We have to unite. We have to really work together because it is just started, this struggle. It isn't over yet until it's over. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. James, you did have a hand. Joseph, I've taken the mic. I don't know. Please take over. Thanks.
Yeah. Go ahead, James, Dr. Mugeni, go ahead, please. Unmute. Oh, yeah.
Joseph, let me put a disclaimer first. Not for you, but for Dorcas. Dorcas, I'm not going to speak if you're a coward. You are shaking. If you're not going to listen to the tough talk, then I will not speak. But let me go for it. Actually, Dr. Nico said what I was trying to develop. The whole of yesterday, I was trying to invite the structures, because I don't want us to fear to mention NUP, because NUP right now looks to represent the election in Uganda. Doctors, listen, the violence that you are seeing, the government is kind of profiling that they're having an election against hooligans. They imagine the rest of the country can have a peaceful election, and so the election is being interfered by hooligans. Doctors, that is very important. That's a point I want you to take. Now, personally, last week we had Eastern region trying to hold spaces, and we could not even hold space because we don't have structures, which Nico has spoken about. Now, to talk about election violence, it's going to take us knowing what structures we have in place that will address election violence. Because other places are subdued. Other places are subdued. If you're going to talk about an election in Eastern Uganda, it's just going to be Easterners against themselves, and there will be NRM against themselves. So it's very important to listen to that message from Nico and then to cut across to all of us. Now to my friend Joseph, Doctors, give me time. My friend Joseph, I said America is doing the right thing. They're doing what they want to do. Trump is doing what people voted him for. But it is us who are not responding. Who are responding? Because, for example, what is right now we have deployed in Sudan? Are we responding to you said funding? It's going to take the people to feel the pain, like you have said. And we are not feeling the pain. And I don't want us to advance that people are suffering. Who is suffering in Uganda? People who suffer go to the streets. Joseph, me and you, we are in America. You know how much Americans are on the streets. You know how much they are protesting about immigrants. You can't almost walk on a street here because people are saying these are the people who dig. These are the people who are in our farms. Even if they're not registered, they're the ones who, the Caucasians cannot hold hose, cannot even pick tomatoes. Yes, people who feel pain protest. Ugandans don't feel that pain. They will plant and go and pray, and it will rain. We have just gone through a winter. Up to now, it is still winter. We can't survive. And so for me, Joseph, I didn't say America is doing well. I said it's doing well in its policies of resetting. That was the message they had for the campaigns. They are resetting, and this resetting means resetting the whole world. And if they're resetting the whole world is reset against them. So who will survive? That's the question all of us should ask. Doctors, why are you uncomfortable? Doctors, come on.
So I don't know
Let me listen.
You're gunning for me. The thing is, my issue here is we have to understand that this platform seeks to address all Ugandans. I do not want to approach this as a NUP matter, you see, because when it comes to the elections, let us not reduce this to a NUP matter, but rather a Ugandan matter, you see. So if there is criticism to the party, it's not that I don't want to criticize them, but it won't be fair because I would need to have people from the party to be here to answer. Otherwise, it won't be a fair discussion. But it's okay to throw criticism. Let it be positive, but on the other hand, let us approach this as a Ugandan matter. Okay, we've seen brutality. What have we done as Ugandans? The National Unity Platform has done quite a lot to address some of these things and the faults they are fighting. And what are the rest of the Ugandans doing? Okay, if they've said they do not want to be called NUP, people or people from the NUP party, then what is their strategy? What are they planning to do? So this platform seeks to address every Ugandan, even that NRM person that thinks is working for the dictator who will soon be dumped. This message is for them. So let us address issues here as Ugandans. That is what I was trying to say, that I didn't really want to throw so much on the NUP end. You know, I would congratulate them and talk about the brutality, the abductions, the illegal detention of our brothers and sisters, the killings, the murders. What are we doing as Ugandans to stop this? What are we doing as Ugandans to reclaim our nation? Because the dictator must be stopped. The dictator must go. You know, I know NUP might not be doing everything 100% right, but what are you as a Ugandan doing to see that we reclaim our nation? Yes, Sister Demi, come in. Then Dr. James, you take the mic. Mr. Kato, you take the mic. Yes, Demi, come in. I think there's issues with the mic today. Yes, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Right and clear. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm very, very tired, exhausted.
I can see.
I've been working too much. My body is gone. Also, what has been going on in Uganda has worn me down. But I'm still going. I have to be on the last adrenaline.
That's the spirit. Yeah.
Comrade Tower, sorry for what happened to you. Thanks for your sacrifice. And we hope you get better soon because we need you on the front line. Second, I missed it because I was coming for a walk. Dr. Nico talked about organization, but I've always said about it. Even Bobby has said about it. We need to be organized. Maybe what Dr. Nico has got to tell us is like, how can we be organized? For myself, I know what it means to be organized. Because it's like in Uganda, you use one vocabulary and people, they don't want it. If they don't understand it, they find it very difficult to believe or to take it in. But organization is so important because look now, we won the by-election. Now NRM is coming up, like you said, they are saying we rigged, whatever. So that bit of organization can be good to counter, to get everybody prepared on that point. Third, whatever happened in Kawempe North is a blessing to us, a blessing in disguise, because it reaffirms what we've been telling the world, that elections are never free and fair. They are full of violence. ECC has dismissed our case on numerous occasions. So it was a blessing in disguise. But I'm sorry for those who were violated, who were beaten up, who ended up having injuries. I'm so sorry. But in a way, it's just a blessing. Number 4, it showed Mohoz is a failure because he believed too much in Jat, that they were going to neutralize, they were going to be everybody, okay? And they didn't. What it has showed is his incompetence. He cannot do anything. And what we have benefited, now people, they are overcoming their fear. And also second, it's like the forceful nature of a dictator is being neutralized. He has run out of space. I can tell you that they have run out of space. The ruling from the Supreme Court is big. Isaac Semakade is onto their case. The case of Kizza Besigye is sitting in their neck. The NUP, another point I want to talk about. Let us not forget we have got 19 people. 9 people. It's not 9. It's about 11. They are in a prison, and according to the Supreme Court, their files should be transferred or they should be released as soon as possible. So we continue to demand for those people. But I think what missed is about civil disobedience. So what we need to learn now from what happened to Kawempe, when we teach, as we employ ourselves to be organized, we can also teach ourselves civil disobedience, what it is. We are non-violent. There is a way we can do more civil disobedience, but when we are organized. But I'm so glad. I've said on this panel, on this program, that Museveni is near the end. Museveni is there for protecting. For me, the way I see it, now many people, they are going to start coming on the board. As I wind up, I'm so grateful for Segirinya. His legacy stands. He came from nowhere, a self-made politician, but look at his death, the impact it has left. This is the first by-election where I've seen Ugandans, they are alert. This is the first by-election I hear. You see, even the media is crying foul. You see, it's funny, but the media is crying foul of what happened to them. So everybody, King Kalisa, they are making statements. It's not like they are on our side, but it is high time. It's that high time, because now they were beaten up, they were victims, and it's high time they see what everybody is going through. Lastly, for me, I'm team no sleep. I'm not going to give elected candidate groom time. No, or honeymoon. We have to learn to put our elected leaders on the course. We ask them, what are you gonna do? What you gonna do? The drains, the hospital. Let them work. Show you. Don't wait them to have their holiday. Oh, I'm still elected. Don't ask them for money. We need mobilization from our leaders. Because for me, I'm tired of Museveni atuyambe gundi atuwese. We need mobilization like this man Clark who was in Machindi. How do you unblock the drains? How do you work this? How do you do? There is a lot we can say, but maybe I'll come back as the program goes on. Congratulations, Narukola. You were a lawyer. As a lawyer, now you can bring us some, at least bring us one reform that we don't need army into election. I think that one is, Narukola can do it. He can press ahead that this should never happen. They are squeezed out. They've got nowhere to go. They have run out of places now. So thank you for opportunity.
Thank you so much for that discussion, presentation. And now Mimi. Oh, Mimi first, and then Dr. Mugeni again. Mimi, can you hear me, please? Say what you need to say. Mimi? Dorcas, can you unmute her, please? Dorcas. Unmute Mimi, please.
What's happening with the mic?
Oh, sorry.
I'm muted now.
Guys, are we getting spoiled? No, it's okay. Yes, sister.
No, she again unmuted again.
Okay, Sister Mimi.
No, unmute her again. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good evening. Good afternoon. Unfortunately, I didn't hear what Dr. Nico said, but I guess it was about elections and the app stuff, getting organized. Yes, we need organization as part of that, but yeah, we need organization. Everyone, we need it to be organized, but I think training is key. And then also timing is important. I think the things that mainly we find ourselves, we delay. Sometimes we delay to work, and then we have to work so hard at the end. And I think what I'm thinking about, I didn't hear what he said, but I think about if we organize ourselves, I think we're going to work less in the end. But also on the other hand, not knowing what he said, on the other hand, the detriment of that we have is social media, because anytime we think that everything should be on social media, and that is a detriment, I think, on the side of the opposition. Because if we put everything on the internet, everything we do on the internet, this helps the junta on the other side to prepare, to get ready, because they are more organized and they have all the resources. We lack resources, and then we don't have many people who are involved in the struggle. So the majority of the people of Uganda are not involved in the struggle, and it could be because they don't know. I mean, they know, but maybe they don't even have access to spaces like, for example, like this, or even where to go to get organized, things like that. But anyways, my part on the part of organization is organizing and putting everything on the internet. To me, is a problem for me, because even if you organize, when it's like giving your enemy, it's like you having your own house and showing that the thief who's gonna come to break into your house every single thing that you're going to do. That is the problem. And to me, there are certain things you have to be discreet, I think. Going on the internet for everything, that thing is disorganized. Because one thing I noticed, for example, anytime we go on the internet, the next day, then after some days, the junta is either dropping people to come and picking up people, either. So I'm thinking we have to also be organized in what we have to disclose on the internet. That is also important. About the elections, I mean, we congratulate the Kawempe thing, but I think what came in mind is the crime. The crime is so intense. What are the next step? Because we can't just see the kind of crime that is going on. Yes, we are Kulabisa. There's this thing of Kulabisa. Yes, we have Kulabisa. But how much time? What is the next step after Kulabisa? I think we really have to make sure we are putting pressure on people, like in the law society, about because like, okay, at least this time we did a good thing, taking pictures of these people who are criminals. But what is next? Because these are criminals, hitting people. How can you, a full, well-trained officer, police, you beat somebody on the head like you're going to kill them? Is that keeping law and order? Why isn't nobody speaking about it? These are the things we should be talking about. I know they won't stop doing it, but at least we talk so that maybe they are not getting the right training, but and I'm saying that we are just focusing on the people, the victims, and which is good focusing on that. But what about these people who hit them? These people are holding offices like in RDCs. They are the people organizing and bringing these police officers and picking up people. I think we should be talking about these things beyond just the election, beyond just Okulabisa, like showing people, we should be going in, also filing. So they filed, they're saying that, okay, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to bring up Noop, but they are filing a court case that Noop stole election. Who's filing against those officers, those faces we saw beating people in unconventional places on their body, beating people to kill them? Nobody is doing that. Why aren't we emphasizing that? So I'm thinking that is where also we have to emphasize, just beyond just showing that people were beaten and showing people in the whatever, So we need to do something about that. And I think we need to talk to that, speak to that beyond just talking about the victims were hurt here. There's a lack in training, because when you're beating somebody, you beat them on the head. You beat them somewhere where it's even okay. If you want to chase away people, they don't do it that way, So let's talk about that too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mimi, for that presentation. And yes, beyond Okulabisa, what's the next step? You're right. You mentioned something about the police training, but remember, the Museveni has militarized the police. It made, people kind of hate the police. So I think within the police are some kind of army people kind of embedded in there. So basically, they're not trained as police officers. They're more army people whose approach to so-called enemies is different from the police. So yes, those are things that we should have addressed, or we should address. How do you remove the military, and how do you make sure that the police is doing the job it's supposed to do? So thank you so much for that. I also now I will ask. I guess okay, Mugeni first, and then Kato. Mugeni, you've been here a few times, but maybe I should ask Kato first. Okay, William, go ahead, James, and then Kato.
Are we ready for elections? Are we ready to address the violence? I don't know who on this world is older than me. Maybe Joseph. Joseph, you'll tell me your age. I'm 61. I left Uganda. I left Uganda at 51. And I had served Uganda for 21 years, right from the hospitals to the refugee camps in the north, in Kato's place. Joseph, I'm trying to put that such that you understand what I'm talking about, that I could be the only resource person from Busia who had been lost to Kampala. When you go to Kampala and leave your village, because most of us across from the north, east, whatever, we all struggle to go and fit in Kampala. And that's why the struggle, whatever you're talking about, is felt in Kampala. Most of us in the villages, by the way, if I left Kampala and went to the village, I become an enemy in the village. People didn't like me. Like people don't like me now when I talk from America. Ugandans don't like me. That's how we were not even liked when I was in Kampala, talking from Kampala, and people in the village say, stay there. You're talking to villagers who have only meat on Christmas. Take a sword on Christmas. You're talking to villagers whom a t-shirt, that yellow t-shirt is a dress for Christmas. Now, to change the quality of people, like Mimi has said, it takes an education. And that education, Museveni interfered with it. Museveni stayed in power, which is almost 40 years, most of these people from our villages, because we are very few resource people on those villages. That's why you find he can go and create a district of 200 people, and he's able to get an LOC 1, LOC 2, and the chairman, LOC 5, and what have you. Very few people. And the rest are illiterate people. The rest are low quality people. Who, by the way, if there's anything people from the East will complain about, is rain. They will not complain about sunshine. They will complain about rain. They will not complain about an election. So we are talking about that kind of thing. So anything you are seeing like structure, like government, it's Kampala. And people are struggling in that place because the quality of life, people who are there are simple, are civilized, are educated. Our villages consist of uncivilized people, whom you can even tell, I have given you a t-shirt. If you don't vote Museveni, we will kill you. And they will fear. And they will respond. I have given you soap. I will tell you exactly what my people told me. When I'll put it in Samia and translate it for you in another language. They used to tell me, that even if this is your place, even if this is your home, you wash your hands before you eat. Then I would ask them, but even if I washed my hands, what will I eat? So some of us have lived in these villages. I served at the community level, where people will tell you nowadays we are swallowing drugs because of Museveni. They don't even relate that because they have HIV, because that they were promiscuous. They'll tell you, Museveni. So it is a huge task to change the perception of people in the rural areas. Something that Dr. Nico talked about. It's about the quality of people, the quality of population who can question things. An election is just an event for them. That's the language in our villages. I am now speaking like somebody from Busia. Who, by the way, now if I speak from America, I said, Wagenda mu America to they start looking at you in that manner. So it is a huge task. When we talk about liberation, when we talk about the struggle, when we talk about violence, it's just going to be in that area, Kampala. It will not be in the East. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mugeni, for that. Actually, I agree with you. Again, as Dr. Nico said, Kampala is and urban areas within the central region are quite different in the sense that people are more, I guess, aware and mobilized. And again, I saw Demi said that we neutralize the violence, and we're excited about the election results in Kawempe. It's great that despite all that violence, people still came out and voted in large numbers, so they were not intimidated. They say, enough with that. But, it really doesn't speak to outside of Uganda and Kampala and other regions like that, whereby, the organization is lacking, the capacity. So I would be extremely excited if this thing happens in Arua, in Mbale, something similar happens in those areas. And to Dorcas is very much afraid of us talking about NUP in this particular context. But unfortunately, NUP is the biggest opposition party.
No, I'm not afraid, Joseph. Correct.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. Just say we really have to be appreciative as well. But our message on every Saturday Zoom is a call to all Ugandans. I really don't want us to come here and criticize NUP, because we have to face this as a Ugandan matter,
Yes. Yeah, but we're now talking about organization within NUP because it's the one that has the leading party. So we're talking about, you can look at it as criticism, but you can't grow without listening to people's ideas. So again, I agree with you that the struggle to liberate Uganda is not a NUP struggle. It's a Ugandan struggle, and we, especially when we go demonstrate, we do not demonstrate as NUP, we demonstrate as Ugandans, because the international community is going to listen to you as Ugandans, not as a political party. So
yeah, and
I totally agree with that. But
sorry,
in terms of the actual, what we're talking about now, organization,
yeah.
with the parties as a leading party that seems to have the most support, we need, of course, hopefully the parties can work as people power together and jointly back a candidate. That would be ideal.
Yeah.
But if that is being tried many times and it's not happened, right now the leading party is NUP. So if the NUP has the capacity, as you can see, the national tours, hundreds of thousands of people show up wherever the president goes. Whether it's northern Uganda, whether it's eastern Uganda. So NUP has the capacity to mobilize people in all regions of Uganda. So if there is more organization, maybe even if it means bringing other people of different parties on the board and say, let's all work together to make sure that we dislodge the dictatorship, dislodge the dictators, NRM candidates, or at least have a change candidate, which we all support. That would be ideal. So thank you so much. We need, basically, the bottom line is that we need more of what we saw in Kawempe across the country, beyond just Kampala and Masaka and places like that. So thank you so much for that.
That's right. And sorry, Comrade Joseph, I wanted to add, we do have diaspora meetings, chapter meetings, where we can discuss more in detail, because this meeting, we actually are streaming live on Facebook. So one thing with communication, we've got who is our audience, you see. So that's why I did not want to digress so much into our structures, our strategies as a NUP party, but rather this Saturday meeting should bring together every Ugandan and say, yes, we thank NUP for the Kawempe election. They've really helped to bring people together. What else can we do? So we discuss as Ugandans. I don't really want us to discuss things that we would rather discuss in our various chapters on this Saturday, because then we're not hearing from the other Ugandans. I want an NRM to come here, an FDC, and say, I am an FDC, I am an NRM, I'm not happy, this and this, brutality, abductions, this is what we must do. So let us not limit this meeting. Yes, guys, do take the mic and let's discuss. Yes.
There are so many NRM hands up there. I can see.
Kale, byebyo ebiriwo birungi si birungi. Nga tutalina okukwatira wamu, tutalina okusimba nakakongo, tutalina okwenyweza ennyo okulanga otereza eggwanga lyaffe nga twegobako nakyemalira si yaffe etereere.